Me and my wife had an argument over which is a bigger marriage breaker, washing machine going wrong or dishwasher going wrong. Which one is more important? Which one will actually lead you to divorce if the things are not done correctly? I think it's a dishwasher. My wife thinks otherwise, but let me know what you think about it. Welcome back, everyone. So, in the previous session, we had gone through the prototypical inheritance, how object inherit from constructor functions. In this session, we will be seeing how constructor functions can inherit from another constructor functions. So in our case, we wanted a new constructor function, a new type of an object called capital, which is this, which should have all the properties like the country object had. So it should have a name, doses given, vaccination percentage. Everything should come from the base function, but I should be able to add two more properties, center and schedule, to it. So to look into this one, again, everything is already in my GitHub repo. I would put the link down. You just need to clone and go to the appropriate code base. So for this session, you can go to if you want to see the final output, you can just go to prototypical basics. But I would be starting from the previous code base, which is the constructor function, because that's where we had left. So nothing special about it. I have my countries and so this is my code base. I have my country tracker over here. Let's go ahead, add a new section to the page so that we can see the capital specific data also. So for that, let me go ahead. I would create a new, let's create a new folder. Let's name it new folder, which is prototypes. And let's call it new function, call it capitals. .js. By the way, if you notice, I made a boo-boo, small mistake in my previous videos. I have named my components, my constructor functions, with a small over here, like const underscore fn. It's not a good practice. It should always start with capitals. That's a convention. So let's go back to the capitals. Now, what am I going to do? I need to first define my constructor function. For those who are new, who have joined in this video, constructor functions are the templates. It's a special type of function which does four things. The first, whenever you call it, it creates an empty objects, brackets like this. That's your empty object. It creates an empty object for you, assigns that to the calling reference. So if you say const Brussels, for example, is new is new capital. So for those who are new to this session, what does the construction function do? It does four different things. So if you say Brussels is const new, it will set Brussels first to an empty object. That's step one. Second, it says anything under this function, if there is a this keyword, you set it to Brussels. That's a application context, execution context that is being set. We will cover that in broad detail in next section. And then we have something called prototype. We already discussed that in our previous one. It sets the Brussels. So basically over here, it means Brussels underscore dot underscore proto underscore to the capital dot prototype. Remember, oh, my Bluetooth is giving me toothache. I like that joke. So remember, this prototype is not the prototype for capital. It is the prototype template from which the child objects will be created. So it will copy whatever is in the prototype and put them underscore into dot underscore proto underscore object. But that's quite a mouthful. I wish JavaScript would handle this thing. I really hate these names. That's me. And then the new keyword will return my Brussels object, which, yeah, I don't care if it's in caps, right? That's what new is doing. So in this session, we are going to create our capital function in a way that I don't have to write percentage, name, vaccinated, all those things again and again. The easiest, there are multiple ways to handle that. The easiest, I'm going to show you one of the easier ways, and then we will see in further details how we can improve that, this piece of logic. So what I would do is nothing spectacular. We already covered it. I would say constant Brussels. Yeah. So let's create. Oops. So let's go ahead. Say const capital is of constructor function. In it, I will take the two additional properties, and the two additional properties in my case were, let me check, I have it open somewhere, is center name and the schedule. So give me the center name and give me the schedule. Okay, and this I will set to this dot test center is, it's an object. Center name is center name. Our previous code videos, so let's clean this up. So it's a bit clean code, is a code that is easy to work with. So I don't need this. Let's go to capitals, which is this guy. Looks okay. So if I run this code, I should be able to see what my Brussels object looks like, which is this, and that's my object. You can see it has test center, which we have defined, and then there is proto, a function, which is a constructor. Another important thing, whenever the prototype is not only the properties or the methods of the base object, it also consists of a constructor function, property slash function, which is basically your the function which is used to create that object with the help of a new keyword. Remember, the new keyword, it does four things. It first, when I say Brussels is new capital, what it will do, it's four things. It would say first, set Brussels to an empty object like this. Then it will say anything, any word called this inside this function is actually Brussels, like this. So it's like saying, as you already know, I can never spell anything correctly. So this is similarly, so this means I'm saying Brussels dot test center is blah 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 blah. It's this line then, right? Of course, in a constructor function, I do not know the name of the variable, so I replace that with this. And behind the scenes, JavaScript will handle that. So, and then it will say the set the underscore underscore Brussels underscore underscore proto underscore underscore to capital dot prototype. If this is not clear, then please do watch my previous video. The link is in the description, and then it will return my Brussels objects. That's in nutshell what new does. So line number 4, it's same as saying return this. Right? It's implicitly done, so I don't need to do it. So let's go ahead, create Brussels capital, done. We already saw this. We already saw the structure. It does not have my name and all those properties which I need terribly. What can I do? What can I do so that Brussels will auto-magically get all those properties? There are multiple ways to handle that kind of inheritance in JavaScript. We will go with, I will go with the most basic approach. Keep in mind, this is not really what you would be doing in a production environment. There are better ways to handle that, a bit more advanced, I must say. Uh, but this approach, I think, is a good starting point to figure out what is going on behind the scenes. So what I'm going to do is to say, remember there was underscore underscore proto, object of the Brussels, I will say, hey, JavaScript, set the underscore proto. I will just call it proto. I'm tired of blah, 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 underscore. Set the proto property of Brussels to place. Yeah, you heard me right. I will change the proto property of Brussels and other objects to point to place object so that when the code executes, the prototypical inheritance will kick in, because remember, it will first look for Brussels. If it cannot find any property or a function, it will say, okay, give me the proto of Brussels, and then I will look for the particular property over there. So in our case, the doses given population can come from place directly. So what I will do in nutshell is to say Brussels underscore underscore proto underscore underscore is new place, and now I can copy my data over there. So for the capital, like this, and then I would specify the name of my place, which is Brussels, and the rest of the property. Right, so what will happen is when this line of code executes, a new object will be created of the type place, which is coming from my constructor function here. So this would be created, and that will be populated. That would be given to my Brussels object because of prototypical inheritance. And since places prototype also consists of percentage, I would also get the percentage automatically. So let's go back to our capitals. So if I do this, now let's go ahead and try to save it, and then we see has anything changed in the Brussels object. I need to export my place from here. Yeah, so I need to do export place. Why is it default and why is it in a curly brackets? It's something to do with modules in JavaScript of how they export the objects. We will cover that in the future videos. So for the time being, just bear with me, trust me, I know what I'm doing over here. So now if I look at my Brussels object, which is this, let's open it. I have my test center. The data is coming from, let me open the, yeah, it's this one. The data is coming. So this test center thing is coming because of this piece of logic, the test center here, right? And if I open the proto object, I get the rest of the data. Cool. And not only that, I also have my percentage. So I don't have to do it again. One caveat over here, this is not production code. This is not how you should be doing it. Remember, you never set underscore property of anything by yourself. Those are private variables. Please don't do that. But I'm doing it to prove a point, to show you how it works. So once that is done, let's go ahead. I will copy my rest of the objects. Let's me copy my rest of the code. I can do this, and let me export it. So I have Brussels, Washington, New Delhi. Save it. Oh, it's capital, sorry. Capital, save it. Everything is hunky-dory. Let's go to app.js. I get my rest of the data back from there. Brussels, so it was wash, let's call it wash and nd. I hate typing. So once this is done, it's pretty straightforward. I can basically replicate the whole thing. Let's put a div here. That is for my countries. I think, yeah, that was for the country section. Uh, and now I will say capitals, Control K C, that is for comments. Copy paste the whole thing and then just simply change the text over here. So this is for capital vaccination tracker. Nothing spectacular. Let's change it to capital name or simply capital. Boop, 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 boop. Capital. And then we add two more properties over here. The center name and the name of and the schedule. So I have it over here. Let me copy my thingy. Yeah, let's not type if we can copy paste. So if I go here, center, and then I say, so that is for, let's copy this thing over here. Similarly for USA, and then for India. These are capitals, so of course I cannot use the country variables here. We need to change what it requires. So the other one, the first one was BRU, wash, and ND. So this should be BRU. By the way, a cool tip for Visual Studio in Visual Studio Code, if you want to change, like over here in column wise, you would like to change the variable name. A cool thing is to do Shift Control All. That's on Windows. You can check it out on Mac also. Right arrow, select your variable, then down arrow, you select all of them and simply say type your variable. Cool. So I don't have to do it one by one by one by one. So over here I can simply remove this, remove this. Similarly for USA, I need to do it for over here. It should be wash, shift all, shift control alt, sorry, and then we do wash my clothes, wash my clothes. What did I do? What did I? Oh no, I need to escape it and then I need to copy this. By the way, the wash. By the time I copied, uh, me and my wife had an argument over which is a bigger marriage breaker: washing machine going wrong or dishwasher going wrong. Which one is more important? Which one will actually lead you to divorce if the things are not done correctly? I think it's a dishwasher. My wife thinks otherwise, but let me know what you think about it. She's going to kill me. That's what you do when you make your videos. So sorry, it was ND, I think. So let's do this. Uh, New Delhi, ND. Oh, blah, blah, blah. ND. Let's remove this. Let's remove this. Now, if I save it and hopefully everything went okay, I should be able to see my new data appearing. And there it is. How cool is that? For some reason, I don't have the center appearing over here. My percentage is working perfectly fine. Doses given, the names are also fine. Let's see what is the deal with center. Maybe I'm not using the correct, I'm not copy pasting the correct property name. It could be because of that. So I have to have test center and then center name. So it should be, that's, I have copied it as test center name, and of course test center name doesn't exist. But this is a good one. What has happened? JavaScript says, hey, for the New Delhi / Washington object, give me a test center name property. It doesn't exist. It went up to place underscore pro to remember. So it went up, said, hey, give me test center name. Says, I don't have it. And since over there also the property doesn't exist, it goes to one step further, which is object. Everything in JavaScript is inherited from object. That's the whole prototypical chain. So if I do this, let me copy it. So I don't want to mess it up again. It's not capitals, it's with center name, center name, center name, and center name. Voila. If I save it, it should work now. Oh, there it is. Andy Fortes. I don't know why it says Andy center name. Ah, it's because of this guy. What are you doing there? Go. Perfect. So we have sort of inherited our functionality from the base place constructor function. So in the next session, what we would like to do is to do something more professional, something more better. We should be honestly able to do something like constant Brussels is new capital, like in old good old procedural languages, and then say complete property in one go. We will see how to handle that, something like this. That's more professional. Don't you agree with me? So that you don't have to repeat your proto never set underscore proto yourself. It's not a good idea. So we will look at how this can be achieved in JavaScript. So that's all for this session. If you like it, please share it, subscribe it. It means a lot to me. I'll be making more such videos. I'll be more motivated to do so. And if you don't like it, please put it in the comments why you don't like it, what you don't like about me. Is it me or is it the video or whatever? So I see you in the next video. Bye bye.